You are listening to Ask the Answers podcast. Join me, Adele Cobain, as I uncover the knowledge, inspiration, and empowerment the psychic world has to offer. Let's begin. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Ask the Answers podcast with myself, Adele Cobain. And on today's episode, one of our psychics on the phone lines on Ask the Answer is the lovely Ben that's joining me today. So, hello there, Ben.
How are you? You all right?
Very well, thank you. And how are you?
Not bad at all, cheers. Yeah, pretty good.
So, Ben, how long have you been working with Ask the Answer for? Is it a recent thing, or have you been with them for a while?
I've been with them for a couple of years now. Yeah, it just sort of happened by chance ages ago. But yeah, it's been going pretty smooth, man. I've been enjoying it.
Yeah, nice. And where are you from, Ben?
I'm from Wales, but I'm based on the south coast. I tend to move about a bit, so.
I thought I heard a bit of a twang there. I grew up in Wales. Yeah. I grew up in Newport, South Wales.
Fair Pembrokeshire for me, see.
Ah, nice. Proper Welsh boy, Valley boy.
Yeah, blooming hell, yeah.
Brilliant. So what brought you to the phone lines? How did you get into it all?
I just happened across it by chance, you know what I mean? Just sort of flicking through the internet and saw it pop up. I mean, I'd been sort of doing this sort of thing for a long time, but just among anybody that would kind of ask, you know what I mean? And then when I saw that pop up, I thought, I'll have a go at that. See if it's any good. It was, to be fair, it was more like ask the answer that I'd wanted to go with out of any of the others as well, you know what I mean? I'd done a little bit of research on them all. And
yeah, you thought this was the one for you.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
So, I mean, obviously, it's not the sort of thing that when we grow up in life go, I want to be a psychic. So How did you find yourself doing readings for people? Were you having experiences yourself, or was it just something you were intrigued to know more about?
Something I was interested in, definitely. For me, it was always cards and the sort of imagery and that on them that kind of draw me to it, you know what I mean? And I'd known a lot of people growing up that had been into this type of thing. I mean, you'd have little experiences here and there, innit? But you'd always kind of dismiss it as nothing. But I guess as you get older, then it just kind of kept sort of pulling itself back in your way, you know what I mean? And I have a lot of friends that do it as well. I think a few of them had kind of got me into doing it more sort of professionally through lines and stuff like that. But
yeah. So would you say growing up you were quite spiritual, or it wasn't?
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
You were.
Yeah, as I grew up, I was well into all of that sort of stuff, all astral projection and meditation and weird things, and anything that I could read or look up, anybody I could talk to, I'd always be kind of bending their ear, you know what I mean? But anything that was kind of weird and unusual, that's what I'd be going after.
Yeah. And is it running the family? Is there anybody else that's psychic in your line?
Not in my immediate family, no. I mean, I had sort of great ancestors and stuff like that you'd hear about, but in fairness, I mean, they were all long dead by the time I come along. And I'm not going to say that they've been speaking to me or anything like that, but nah, that was kind of the inspiration, you know what I mean? But I was the black sheep that kind of went after that.
Yeah. And can you remember the sort of first sort of readings you were doing? And was it just for people that you knew, or was it, just random people? Was it at parties? How did it unfold?
It was when I was a kid, basically. It would be for friends and things, you know what I mean? Just mucking about and doing little Ouija boards and stuff like that as well, and all sorts of madness, and sort of sneaking into little spiritual churches and that, and watching the happenings and the goings on. But yeah, that's kind of what sparked my interest. But then obviously on my travels and things, when I've been knocking about Europe and that, I'll sort of anybody you come across on campsites or in hostels and things, do readings for them. Anybody that asks, I mean, I still get it now. I mean, the bulk of the readings goes through Ask the Answer, but I still get a lot of people on my travels that are like, oh, can you do me one face to face? So I'll bash it out then. But
yeah,
the majority of it is definitely through the lines nowadays. But like I say, it's been all sorts of people through my life, you know what I mean? Like older, younger, sort of richer, poorer. Nobody famous. Like I've never really happened across anybody famous on my travels, but it's just one of those things. I think people get drawn to you, don't they? It's especially spiritual stuff. Especially when I moved down into England, you'd find that there'd be people that would just be randomly divulging stories about their life or opening up in just random situations, you know what I mean? And then you get to realize that they're that way inclined as well, and you wouldn't really have to say anything to them. It was like a magnet that kind of pulled them in, you know?
Yeah. So you've done a lot of traveling then. You are someone who likes to see the world a bit.
Yeah, mainly Europe, though, in all honesty. I need to get out of it a bit more now. But I tend to go around with my guitar on my back and
Oh, so a bit of a musician as well.
Yeah. I do all sorts of stuff. Yeah.
Nice.
But no, it gives me an easy life, so I can't complain.
I can see you've got quite a lot of tattoos. Every tattoo tells a story. What sort of tattoos have you got going on there?
Oh, blooming hell, all sorts. A lot of these cover-ups and stick and pokes. Yeah, I think it's more to keep me out of the pubs on a Saturday night. I'd sit there with a needle and ink.
Oh my God, what, you did it yourself?
Yeah, a lot of them.
No.
Some of them are by friends. Some of them are by apprentices and things. So.
Well, are you actually a tattoo artist, or you just decided?
No, I just like art. Yeah. When I was younger, I was a lot more heavily into art, you know what I mean? And there was a time where I'd be sort of designing tattoos and stuff for people. But as I've got older, my art has got worse. So
were you a bit of a wild child back in the day?
Oh, definitely, yeah. Yeah, I got the scars to prove it as well.
So is it more of like from going like a wild child to a bit more of a tranquil, peaceful life? Or is it maybe when you go through those sort of wild sort of moments that you do end up finding yourself almost getting into that sort of spiritual side? I think from experimenting, exploring and discovering yourself, it opens you up a little bit more.
Oh, definitely, yeah. And I think, like you said, with the life experiences, it makes you a lot more kind of empathetic to other people's situations, you know what I mean? Because I've always been one of those people that kind of picks up on people's energies and things, you know what I mean? Like the energy of the room, or you can tell what sort of mood somebody's going to be in, and I had some sort of weird experiences along those lines. But I think, having a bit of a mad life when I was young definitely helped me where I am now. Like, give me a lot of wisdom before my years.
Yeah.
But nah, I wouldn't change it though. It's been good.
So did it take a lot for you to get that, obviously being psychic, getting, to that being grounded and that meditation side? Because when you do live quite a manic life, or especially majority of people in their 20s are still trying to discover themselves and figure out where they want to be and who they want to be, so did it take a lot for you to learn how to still the mind and to tap into that psychic ability?
Oh, of course, yeah, definitely. Because I think it was knowing what it was as well, innit? Because I think when you're younger, especially, you think in a certain way and act in a certain way, and you just assume that everybody's brain works the same, don't you? So it's like, I couldn't grasp like that. Not everybody is exactly alike, but yeah, it did take a lot. I think, especially a lot of meditation over the years, just calming the mind as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because obviously, I think when you're young, you experiment with things and it clouds you a little bit as well. A lot of drink and stuff like that. And that's something as I've got older, I've steered further away from, you know what I mean? I'm not really
harder to recover when you're older.
Oh, bloody hell, yeah, that's it, man. And I know it sounds bad, but I got a massive fear of getting fat as well. So yeah, I steer away from it.
What other hobbies do you do then, apart from doing your music and tattooing yourself when you have a spare moment?
Yeah, blooming hell, I do a lot of songwriting, and songwriting and painting. Like, I spend a lot of time on the beach, and again, like, I'll sit on the beach, and within about half an hour, I'll have about 15 blokes stood around me, like about 30 dogs. It's like I end up with a little entourage, and all I'm doing is sitting there, sort of writing a song or painting. But everybody gets drawn to you. But yeah, I do a lot of cycling, a lot of running, a lot of traveling about.
Yeah.
But all sorts. Yeah, I like wandering off into the woods on my own in the night and
as you do.
But yeah, got to be done though.
Okay, good to know. Glad you're protected.
Oh, you're right.
So people say sometimes when they're into their music or they write or they draw, that sometimes that often comes through when they're doing readings, that they'll get images or they get a song title that relates to people. Do you get that yourself?
Oh, definitely sometimes, yeah. Especially more so now. Like, I mean, when I first was into it was trying to figure it out from what's in front of you, but now I feel like you get a lot more, like they say, downloading in it. You get a lot more little things flashing in front of your eyes when you're trying to read, and definitely little songs, or especially lyrics. I mean, it's always lyrics that hit hard with me, and it's, I think in some readings as well, there's just certain things that bring those lyrics out, and then it makes more sense of it. But yeah, definitely. I think it helps with the creative element of it as well, doesn't it? It's rather than just being black and white, like looking at it and saying, right, yeah, you're gonna die, or you know.
It adds layers to it.
Oh, definitely.
A bit more interesting. So tell us a little bit about the cars. Do you have just one deck of cars? Do you have numerous deck of cars? Have you got your favourite ones that you've had for years?
I've got numerous, yeah. Like I'm one of those little weirdos that once I get into things, I'll start buying loads of them. And I've been trying to find as many sort of old used ones as I possibly can. I've got a few creepy little sets, but There's one set in particular I always use. They were brand spanking. I only bought them like last year, but it was a set from Amsterdam. I was wandering around Amsterdam, found a shop there that I knew they had a lot of sort of pre-used and vintage and stuff in there.
Yeah.
So, but I didn't have £1,800 to buy a set then, so I had to make do with what was affordable. But,
wow. So do you go for more like the dark, you said like dark, creepy, gothic type cars, or are they quite light, airy, fairy, goddess, fairy cars? What sort of ones do you go for?
a little bit in the middle, yeah, a little bit in the middle, because I like the old traditional sort of Rider-Waite imagery, but with a little bit of a spin in it. You know what I mean? Like, so I try to keep it around there. I use those. Oh, what are those blinking ones? Art Nouveau, if you've ever seen them.
Yeah.
Like that's the favorite one I use. But then I've got a load of sort of weird ones here as well. I got a few that are like UV reactive and blooming ones.
Yeah.
Like Elton John and things like that. And I got a Labyrinth set here as well that I got quite cheap. But
nice.
But I've got a few in the old style. I can't remember now who the blinking hell was it? Smith? No, that was Smithwaite, wasn't it? The ones before them anyway, the old school ones. With bare image on it. Like I've got a few sets of them, but I don't tend to mess with them as much because it's, you know what I mean? I find them a little bit harder to work with, and they give me the creeps. Like
it's like anything, isn't it, in life? Sometimes you just drawn and think some things work better with you than other things. Yeah. It's like why sort of change something that works for you already with maybe something that you got. Do you have a special like format or anything structure when you do your readings, or is it just come as and when you pull the cards?
As and when, yeah, because sometimes I'll try different spreads and things as well. You know what I mean? Different shapes. Like try to make it like a brainstorming session in a sense. You know what I mean? So have your sort of main thing in the middle, and then all the little branches coming off. And I'll try and work it that way and keep it going as a bit of a discussion as well. I mean, sometimes it's a bit of a guessing game, isn't it? It's just nature of the beast. But I enjoy a bit of that as well. But it's I like it when you've got a bit of back and forth as well. You know what I mean? And
I was going to say that. Is there a way of getting the best out of your readings? And is that by having a conversation or being quiet and letting you take control?
Yeah, having a bit of a conversation for me. I like to know exactly what people are trying to get out of it and where they want to go with it. You know what I mean? And at least then you know kind of what they're expecting as well. Because I think sometimes with the general, that's fun, just kind of seeing what's there and seeing how it resonates. But it's good then when they give you a little bit of info and you know, right, that's what you're trying to figure out. And then I can, you know what I mean? I think, and a lot of the tarot readers I've spoken to, that's kind of the way they've done it. You know what I mean? Don't get me wrong, I haven't spoken to everybody on the planet Earth, and everybody's got a different way of doing things, isn't they? But I think that's the way that works best for me, just because it's a bit more free flowing then as well, isn't it?
Yeah. Have you ever been interested in learning other tools, or have you tried to work with any other tools?
Yeah. I've been looking at sort of what are those ones, the oracle cards and things like that. But they don't go as well for me sometimes. You know what I mean? But palmistry is another thing I got a lot of interest. In. I've got a little stack of books on that, but that's from reading Dennis Wheatley books. I found a good book in there, Chiro's Language of the Hand, and so I bought that. And over the years, I've been sort of flicking through that. But it's a lot harder, I think, because you've got to go through so many different sets of hands. I think with cards, you can sit there in your room or in your home and just do 1,000 readings in a night. You know what I mean? But with palmistry, you can't get 1,000 people to come through and put their hand in front of you. So
but good when you're traveling.
Oh, definitely, yeah. And if you know a little basic bit, definitely. Like it's always handy. All you need to know is the sort of bare fundamentals, and you can still get a lot out of it.
Yeah, whether into the psychic world or not, you know, if you are on holiday or traveling and someone says, "Oh, let me give you a palm reading," that is something that people will probably go to. Or if you say, "Can you tell me about my star sign or whatever?" People find that interesting because you don't have to be totally spiritual to get that. Everyone knows what their sun sign is, and everyone's got a palm and they can see their lines. It's things that people can actually see and that people will probably be interested in.
Oh, definitely. And I think it adds a deeper level with that sometimes because you've got the touch element as well, ain't you? So it puts people in a kind of a different mind space then. But it's amazing what you can find just with flicking through the lines on somebody's hands as well. You know what I mean? It's like, it is insane. Like, I think as well, the more experience you get with it, obviously the more you can find. Like, and that's what I'm aiming with everything, even with the tarot. You know what I mean? Like, if there's one thing I know now is that there's still a lot to learn. So it's like I'm forever reading, I'm forever looking at videos and trying to get other people's perspectives and just get everybody's different angles on how they would interpret that or how they interpret that, and trying to get different, you know what I mean? Get the brain a little bit as well. Like, but no, literally on the lines every day now. Like I've found
Do you get a certain type of person that calls you? Do you have a trend of people, or is it a mixed bag?
good mixed bag, yeah, and I'm quite lucky. I've got a good handful of regulars on here now. So, I mean, I love it when it's new or old, but it is quite nice when you get someone that's been coming back to you and like they've been coming from say day one. And
Yeah.
I've got a handful of people that literally from the first day I started on there have kept coming back. So
You must be doing something right then.
yeah, I hope so. Like,
Yeah, good. And for you, do you get many predictions for the future, or is it validating maybe what they've been through or what they're going through?
a bit of both. I think there's a lot of validating what they've been through and what they're going through, and quite a lot of predictions for the future as well, and just squaring some things out, because I think sometimes people, they might have some insecurities or some worries in their minds, and I think it's putting that to rest in it. And obviously, don't get me wrong, sometimes you do have to tell people, like, I can't really talk about this or that. It's, if it's something that's really going to affect their life, like giving them legal advice or something like that, I'll always sort of tell them straight, like I shouldn't really be advising you on that. Like, don't take this over the advice of a lawyer or something that's
of course,
really help you. You know what I mean? And it's not saying that this won't bring you help, but I don't want to be responsible for somebody like completely ruining their life over. You know what I mean? And if there's someone that can kind of advise better on that particular subject. But
everyone has free will at the end of the day. And like you said, you can't tell people what to do. They have to take control of their lives and follow their pathway. I suppose, even when I'm having readings, it's nice though when you have some specific details, how you pick up on that person to make it an individual reading and not a generic reading.
Oh, of course, yeah. Definitely, because it's a lot more tailored then, isn't it? Otherwise it can be quite generic, because you're trying to figure out what they're trying to say in your head and give as many meanings as possible as well, aren't you? To try and, I guess, trigger something in the other person's mind so they can say, oh, yeah, there's this going on. And you're like, right, so how are you wanting to get around that situation then? And I mean, sometimes you've got to give bad news, ain't you, as well? Like it comes.
Yeah, life's not a bed of roses. Yeah,
nah.
There's going to be downs, yeah.
Oh,
but
totally.
I suppose then by pre-warning them, they can handle it easier, or they can find a way around it or overcome it, or just be prepared for maybe those challenging times.
Oh, of course, definitely. And I think it teaches you a little bit about yourself as well, don't you? Because you see a lot of the same sort of problems coming around and a lot of the same sort of personality types being spoken about. And I think it gives you some realizations about yourself sometimes, because blimey hell, some of the men trouble people have. I listen to the stories and I think, flipping hell, mate, they're describing me to a degree. It makes me reevaluate how I'll sort of act in certain situations then as well. So it's good for, I think, teaching you about your own life as well, isn't it? But I do love talking to the people. It's like it's so interesting, you know what I mean? Speaking to
I'm sure.
People.
Yeah, you must hear all sorts of things.
Oh, flipping hell, yeah. And I love it as well. I'm not going to lie.
I mean,
I'm so nosy.
These people are probably opening up about things that they've probably never talked to their partner or their friends or their family, because it is a safe place where you're not going to go and share it on social media. Do you know what I mean? It's a private place for people to have that soundboard, all to discuss it, see what their options are. It's a good place to go.
Oh, definitely. And I think as well to realise that they're not alone, you know what I mean? Because you can't judge them, because we're all human. We all make the same mistakes. We all do the same sort of things. And we all have the same insecurities in our heads and worries. And I think when they realise that as well, it's like, I'd never go blabbing about nobody's business, because I've got enough of my own business I don't want that about. So you understand it. And I think as well, like we said, having a mad life when you're younger is definitely kind of opened my eyes to how you can benefit people in this type of field as well, you know what I mean? Because you get a better understanding then of where they've been and where they're trying to get to. So.
Yeah, definitely. So moving forward, is there things that you want to do, or are you quite happy where you're at with your psychic world and work that you do?
At the minute, I'm like, get as much time with Ask the Answer under my belt as possible. I mean, this will be my retirement fund as well, so I doubt I'll ever be leaving the line if I can help it. But trying to branch out a bit in time as well, you know what I mean? And do, like I say, a little bit more of the face-to-face, spread out a little bit more, maybe bounce around to the odd festival and things like that. But at the minute, just sticking with it where it is. I mean, because like I say, I'm getting more and more people sort of coming to me with a desire for face-to-face, so I'm happy to start accommodating that again as well. But mixing it between, I've got this on the go, music, and then the sort of I'm a barber as well in the week. So
right, man of many talents.
Yeah, man.
All creative though, mostly creative, very creative sort of work of line.
Oh, definitely. And that's what I love. Like, when I think back, don't get me wrong, I'm not a sort of wealthy man by any means, but I've got enough to keep the roof over my head. And that's all I kind of need. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
I've got plenty of time to sort of come and go. Like, I think, especially with this line and the format it is, it gives me a lot of ability to sort of go away places, spend a bit longer away. And you know what I
Yeah,
mean? Because whenever I'm on holiday, I'm still on the lines. It might not be as much as when I'm in a normal week, but
yeah,
I'm always on it. You know what I mean? Like, trying to make time and just get on there. But gives a lot of flexibility to life. Like, it works well with everything else. And to be
mhm,
fair, it far exceeded my expectations as well. Because you never know with doing it for a phone line or emails or anything like that at first, do you? I guess it's the same with anybody with any type of business venture. You can't find a lot of information about other readers on their experiences with it online either, which I
yeah,
can understand now. Like, you keep it secret so as few
yeah,
people
yeah,
die about it as possible. But
yeah, yeah. And so you said there about the email readings and things like that. What's the difference in the style of readings? If people have a phone reader or an email reading, are they still getting the same back? Is there
yeah,
one is better than the other? I don't know.
I, I, I wouldn't say either is better than the other, because you get very different questions. I think sometimes with the emails there are a lot more details, and it's trying to figure out how you can fit everything that they want to know into the sort of package that you've got. At least with,
Mhm.
I think with the phone you've got a much broader net where you can kind of explore, and I guess because you can kind of extend and things like that, you can
Yeah,
go
you
on
can
all night.
expand.
But with the emails, it's sometimes you've got to compact it, and then you might get the most basic question with 1,000 word answer. So then you've got you know what I mean, try to stretch something that could
Yeah.
realistically be a yes or a no into
But then
1,000
you've got it in
words.
print, then you can refer back to it whenever you want to. Whereas I think sometimes with phone
Definitely.
readings, I'm like, oh, what did they say? Which date did they say something could be good for? So yeah, it's trying to remember it all, especially with the phone reading. There's always so much that comes through.
Oh, totally, yeah. And again with emails, I mean, yeah, there's a lot of information sometimes, but I love doing them because as well, it's another scope of sort of thinking about this. You know what I mean? It's like when you're trying to learn a language as well, isn't it? You want to do it by listening to songs, singing songs, watching TV, reading books, and it's the same with anything like tarot, isn't it? Like, you know, as you're trying to kind of get the best out of the cards and get the best out of your readings,
Mm.
you learn all different ways to kind of interpret then as well, isn't it? So it's I think reading the cards and knowing the meanings is the easiest part, and kind of getting what you want to say out is easy, but then getting it out in a good fashion in it and making it interesting. I mean, you can just sort of keep it brief and be like, oh yeah, nah, that's going to happen, sound done.
Yeah,
But trying to make a little bit of a story and a little bit interesting as well, I think is important. Like, it's
yeah. All the fine details.
oh, definitely, yeah.
Mm.
And yeah, that's the thing. Like, I'm continuously learning. I mean, reading books every day for years. It's just trying to improve. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
constantly sat there doing little readings on my own, just on various questions and various things, and just not so much trying to get answers for myself, but trying to see how I want to kind of lay that out and what it means together. You know what I mean? So what that
Mhm.
means there in regards to that, and if that direction is looking in that way, what does that mean? And it's fascinating. To be
Yeah.
love it. It's opened a whole new world for me as well. Doing it for the lines, I think. Like,
Do you keep your all the jobs from being a barber, the musician, in your creative side? Do you keep it all very separate, or can you be in the barbers doing someone's hair and pick up something for them, or do you openly tell people that you're a psychic, or do you keep it quite closed?
no, 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 no. I'll tell them, yeah. Because the thing is, as well, it's surprising how many people. Like, I've met a lot of sort of tarot readers that are just kind of like road tarot readers. They don't do it on phone lines. They'll only do it kind of face to face or on the travel. I've met a lot of those through the barber shop. Then you get a lot of people that are kind of interested in getting readings. So it pulls in more potential customers. But
That's an
it's
extra tenner.
oh, definitely, yeah, blooming hell, yeah. On top of the cat, like, you
That
can't
deserves
fault
a
it. And
tip.
oh, 100%. I mean, because some of the places I've worked, I've found then that I've been working with people that are kind of psychic mediums, and they don't so much do it through the cards. They'll do it just through the head. You know what I mean? Like, however you
Mhm.
kind of do that when you just do it bare. But I've met a lot of interesting people doing that. But it's handy as well for you get a lot of blokes that say they might be going through something and they want someone to vent to, and I think it gets you really good at kind of bringing them in and making them
Yeah.
feel comfortable then. And doing this has helped me a lot in the barbers then as well, because I'm talking with people so much. It's
Yeah.
given me that confidence to keep pushing a conversation in the shop then. And
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
and it brings in the customers that way. And the same with the music. I mean, when I first started playing, I'd get on stage, barely say a word, too scared to look at the crowd, and then just
Yeah.
and leave. Whereas now
They can't shut you up.
oh, bloody hell, yeah. Now they try to get me out now, man. Like, I've got a little following just for the rubbish that I talk in between songs. So.
That's good, isn't it? Because I mean, as well as obviously being there for other people, you are still developing, and you want to be the better version of yourself. So every sort of experience and things that you're going through is going to only help you as well along the way.
Definitely, yeah, 100%, and it does, and that's what I'm kind of grateful and humbled with at the same time. You know what I mean? Because it has brought a lot to me, and like as it keeps going forward now, it just gets kind of stronger and stronger. You know what I mean? I mean, you have your ups and downs with the line. Some weeks are busier than others, but I think it is definitely as much as you put in, you get out. You know what I mean? And I'm a bit of a night creature as well. I love sitting up late into the evening and waiting for calls. I think because I busked for so long. Like I used to travel around on a little motorbike, busking everywhere, like for about 10 or maybe 13 years. I think I've been doing that. And I feel it's kind of the same with this. You know what I mean? It's like you're kind of sitting there and waiting for people to come in and then do the same thing. And the game of like, how long do you think is this call going to be? You know what I mean? Because some people might come on, it could be 2-3 hours of a reading, and then others it might just be you can get it done in that 20 minutes, boom. But it's always interesting, it's always fun, you know what I mean? And there's always that element of excitement to it and a little bit of fear as well, I think.
I can just imagine you just in the middle of the night and you're going, let me just play you this latest track that I've been writing, see what you think of this.
Definitely, man.
Along the way.
Well, sometimes I'll be shuffling along and I'll be talking about something, and I do it in the barbershop as well, and I'll half sing a sentence or something, you know what I mean? It's like, I think when I'm trying to think about something or trying to get into it, I'll be chatting away, and then you start singing a few words, and then you go, oh, bloody hell, man, I'm doing it again. Like, you hear people down the other end then laughing at you because you're singing at them. Like,
so do you play the guitar and you sing?
Yeah.
We should have introed the podcast with you singing and playing.
In it, I do it, man. There's guitars scattered all around here, but yeah,
they
never want me back, lad, innit? I'd have to charge you for that, though. So.
you can put it on the bill.
Oh yeah, do right, innit?
Put it on the bill. So I mean, what like again, like being a psychic and everything that you do. How would you describe yourself as a reader? Because there are so many psychics on the phone lines. Why should somebody come through to you?
Well, I'm kind of very relaxed, you know what I mean? And like you say, non-judgmental. I mean, we're all non-judgmental, let's be fair. Everybody on here's got their own speciality. But I think with me, it's kind of, I feel like I'm a very sort of down-to-earth, laid-back person, you know what I mean? Like there's not a lot of, I wouldn't want to say mumbo-jumbo because I don't want to insult anybody, you know what I mean? Like it's not mumbo-jumbo, but you know what I mean? I try to get to the point as quickly as possible and try to figure out as deeply as we can. Like, so I feel, yeah, I'm just going to give as much of myself and try to empathize with you as much as possible. Like, and it doesn't matter what it is about, you know what I mean? As sort of wild and wonderful, I'm quite happy to sit and listen. Like and again, like you say, it's never going to go any further than these four walls. So
yeah. Do you think you get people that are drawn to you? Because you are naturally drawn to people, aren't you? Anyway, in life. So do you think that some people are drawn to you because maybe they're starting off at maybe a music direction, or maybe they're thinking of going traveling, or maybe they're caught between family and responsibilities and wanted to do something totally different? Do you find that, again, from your own experiences, that you often get those sort of people coming to you, that you've got that experience behind you as well to support them?
Yeah, definitely. And I find a lot of people, especially just in general life, and I mean in music and barbers, like, because with music I post a lot as well, you know what I mean? I do a lot of songwriting. I'll write a song every week and post it somewhere. So I get a lot of people sort of messaging in regards to that. And then the same with, say, if I'm down the beach, a lot of people coming and just telling me about their life. I get a lot of people just opening up on the random, you know what I mean? It's like, and all sorts of people, like sort of old and young, you'll just be sat out in the middle of nowhere, and then they're kind of drawn in like magnets and start telling you a life story, and then you become friends. Yeah. You know what I mean? I think a lot like that. And I think because I'm at a certain level with a few things as well, you get people asking a lot of advice, like especially on stuff like music and that. But even with the barbers, though, that's what I find really interesting is you'll always find the most sort of spiritual and the most kind of that way inclined people always end up in my chair just by chance. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like, but you can have some good deep conversations there. And that's when I'll end up doing a haircut 3 times longer, because you're chatting about this story or that story, or how somebody had a reading off this person here. And
As long as you haven't butchered their hair.
oh yeah, definitely. And then by the time you finish,
Got a bit too short.
Hairs left, yeah, like because I've overcut it. But the thing is, you've got so close from them, they're oblivious to all the mistakes you've made with their eyebrows. Like,
cover it up, yeah.
Cut them with the clippers or something. They don't mind so much. But
I mean, every day's different, isn't it?
Oh, totally.
It's not one day the same, because you're speaking to so many different people from all walks of life. So it is interesting.
Oh, definitely, very interesting, and I think that's the part of everything I love. You know what I mean? Like I'm always quite a solitary person as well. Like 90% of the time, I'm on my own. I go traveling on my own. I'll go and sit on the beach on my own, or I'll go and sit in the cinema on my own and avoid everybody. It's like I have very little social interaction other than working.
Yeah.
So I'm always quite welcoming when people want to come and have a chat and that. And I mean, don't get me wrong. Sometimes I've had situations, say if I'm sat on the beach, people will come and start talking to you about something, and you think, well, I'm not really on that wavelength.
Up for this.
Yeah, if they're on about mad stuff like racist stuff, or
gosh,
you're kind of sat there thinking, nah, that's all right, mate. You carry on walking. Like, I'm not really into that, but
yeah, I think you got one of those likable faces. My husband's the same. Like wherever we go, people will just like be drawn to him and start talking to him, and sometimes he's just like, nah, you're all right, mate.
Oh, of course, isn't it? It's because you're relatable with everybody, innit? And it's like, and it can be a blessing and a curse. And I think that's another reason why people should come is, the relatability, I guess. Like, I think there's so many different pathways I've been down in life, and so many different avenues I've gone, that it's like you get a good understanding then for everybody's kind of plights. And
the empathy, empathy's got to be there, because if you've been through it, then it straight away you automatically open up. Like if you're out and about socializing with somebody and they say, oh yeah, I've gone through this. You go, oh my God, I've gone through that as well. And then automatically you've got that bond straight away with somebody.
100%. No, totally. And I that's one thing about life I love, you know what I mean? Because it's like, blinking hell, anywhere I go now, I will end up with somebody coming and giving me their life story. I mean, I've made so many friends when I've been traveling about as well. Like, and you may never see them again. I mean, there's people that I haven't seen in like 10, 11 years, but we're still chatting like we're family, you know what I mean? Because you were so close in that week that you spent with them. Like that. But nah, I love it. Like, and I just hearing the weird stories about different things around the world as well. Because I mean, I was in Macedonia years ago. I went there just on a random one, and I ended up becoming friends with an Albanian lad. And then he starts telling me about like, there was a psychic that lived in the area in Skopje, and he's like, yeah, this old blind lady, mate. And he's like, she'll just do you sort of readings just by holding your hand. And then he's telling me the story about her and where you can find her. And then like, oh, don't go down that way. There's this haunted graveyard. And but all these stories, man, we were just sat like literally in the city until about 7 o'clock in the morning every night chatting about this. And then but what I found weird as well is like that after that trip, it seemed anywhere else I went then, there would be somebody would start speaking to me that looked exactly like this lad. And you'd end up befriending them, and it was like, mate, I keep meeting these sort of like clones of one of my friends, like, But nah, it's fascinating. I love it when people come up and kind of open up and that, because I worked in care years ago as well, so it's like I think that helped me a lot as well. To give a bit of a fluff about people other than yourself. You know what I mean? Like, not be so sort of self-centered in life. Because I think when I was younger, you're just kind of wrapped up in your own little world and. You don't care about nothing outside of that, you know what I mean? But now I realise how much of a kind of broad spectrum there is outside of my own existence. And
I've got what star sign are you? Are you a water sign?
Scorpio. Yeah.
Scorpio?
Yeah, 11/11, my birthday. So.
Shut up.
Yeah.
That's the same as my husband.
Oh, seriously?
Yeah, he's Scorpio, 11/11.
Flipping hell, man. How old are you? Don't mind me asking.
He's 83.
He's 83?
Yeah, not 83. No, he's not age 83. He's
I'm
not
thinking
old man. He's not a sugar daddy. No, I mean, born in 1983.
Fair. 3 years older than me.
Oh, God.
I was thinking then, bloody hell, mate, that's an age gap, isn't it? I didn't want to be rude then.
Oh, dear, yeah, very sugar daddy. No, he's my toy boy. He's a bit younger than me. Yeah, so he's, I don't know what that is, 83. Is he 43? I can't remember now. I'm 45. I think he's well.
I don't think he's even 43. Is it 83?
Is he 43?
That's 41, isn't it? Yeah.
Was he 41? Yeah, it could be. I don't know.
Yeah, I think my brother's 83. He's blooming December. Sad years, but he's the complete opposite of me. Like in regards to this, my brother's the most unspiritual person in the world. I mean, I love him to pieces, but He's the rational one. I'm the kind of weird one. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
His chaos and his order, and the two sort of collide.
Yeah.
But
Brilliant. Have you got a big family, or is it just you and your brother?
just me, my brother, my mum, and my dad. I mean, we got a lot of cousins and things like that. There's loads of us scattered about. But as for who I'm really, really close with, it's just us four. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we are quite close, man. We get on really well. I think that, you know, family life's been a big part of my life, and anything I do, they're really supportive with. So even though they don't understand it sometimes, like, they know that I'll figure a way out. So
they're like, oh, that's all right. It's just Ben. It's what he does.
Oh, too right, yeah. They know, and that's the thing.
Free spirit.
Oh, flip hell, yeah. And you know what I mean? So many stories get bandied about me then as well. It's like I'll live on in legend when I die anyway. So at least that's one good thing.
You've got to live life to the full. Life is too short. I say that to my kids all the time. I mean, they're only 11 and 7, but I'm just like, listen, just enjoy your life, like experience all these things. As long as you're safe and you're well mannered and stuff like that, go exploring, do what you want to do. Don't mean I think some people can be so controlled and worried about not doing things for upsetting other people, or especially like sometimes parents can feel a bit more pressure on their kids. Oh, you got to do this, you got to go to university, you got to do that, and you got to do that, and then they feel they can't go away because they can't leave their parents. But I'm just like, I know it's hard for parents to let go of their children, but I'm all for, like, look, we're always here. Just go and do what you need to do. Just be safe.
Because it gives them a lot of experience then as well, isn't it? Because it's hey, you can't decide what you want to do with life by the age of 18. And if you do, like, fair play to you. But there's always going to get a point in your life where you may get sick of that. You may feel you made the wrong decision. It don't matter what decision you make, does it? It's like they say, find a job you like and you'll never work a day in your life. But you will start getting fed up with working that job. So it's like, I think for me, that's why I do so many different things. And I think it's important, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, some people know what they want to do straight away, some don't. But everybody's got a different pathway. But I think definitely, like, going out and doing all sorts of different stuff and experiencing a broad range is...
Yeah. I think my daughter will be a bit of a wild child, but I think my son will be a bit of a homebody. He's a bit of a mummy's boy. He's a rugby boy, but he'll probably stay close to home. My daughter, God knows where she'll end up, but she'll be going everywhere.
That's too right, man.
Yeah.
But that's always the way, though, isn't it? It's like you find that with a lot of brothers and sisters, didn't you? Because it's the same with me and mine. I mean, my brother he doesn't go abroad anymore, but then I'll go abroad every opportunity I get. You know what I mean? Yeah. And we're like, he's kind of got his job. He's had his job for years. Don't get me wrong, he does really well. He's a grafter, but it's like, then for me, I find the security stifling sometimes. Like,
get itchy feet.
Oh, blinking hell, yeah.
No, it's good. It's good. Like I said, life's for living. Everyone has their own journey, their own sort of experiences of what they want to do. And it's just, we're all trying to do the best in life. And it's great when you have psychics like yourself on the phone line, just to offer the guidance and that insight that people might need along their way. Oh,
totally. No, and it's always welcome when people come in, because that's one thing. Like, the more that come through, I love it. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter what you got to talk about. It's one of the most enjoyable things I've ever done, I think, like doing this.
Yeah, nice.
Because it's like I say, it teaches you so much about life, teaches you so much about people. And don't get me wrong, I tell you what I found that was strange as well is I was cutting hair a few years ago when I worked in a place, and I ended up like bumping into one of the other readers' husbands or something as well. Like, that's off this very site. I was talking to him about it. And he's like, yeah, my wife works on that. I was like, oh, fair. Who's that, mate?
Oh, yeah.
But it was one of the sort of the OGs, you know what I mean? The top tier.
Yeah.
Like, so.
Oh, nice.
But no, I thought, blinking hell, small world. But
small world, but a big world.
No, definitely, yeah. But no, it's a good one. It's fascinating, definitely. I love it.
Well, Ben, do you want to pull a card for the day, for the energy that's out there at the moment? If you've got any cards, just to round up our podcast today, put some energy out there to people that are listening, maybe a card for them to relate to.
Right, let's have a look. These are me go-tos, see. Oh, flipping out. That one's made its decision. Let's see what it is. Right, we got the justice card, so I say a bit of balance.
Yeah?
A bit of balance and a bit of justice. So, yeah, I guess being clear with decisions today, innit? Like, I don't know who it sort of who it points to, unless somebody's going to jail, but...
No, that's good. Nice. Well, off the back of that, if people want to come through and have a reading with you, if they are looking to get balance in their life, then that's something, of course, on the phone lines, if you are looking at options, directions, getting that balance in your life, trying to juggle too many plates. I know that I'm often trying to do that. So I just need to know what to prioritize, what to give up, what to keep in your life, and how to manage it. Well, Ben, we're going to be leaving it there. That's all we've got time for. But if you want to come through to you, is your PIN number 500823?
Yeah, that's the one.
That's
And
you.
yeah, like I say, day and night. So come through as much as you want. Emails, calls, send me them all. And thank you very
Lovely.
much for having me as well.
Oh, Ben, it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much for coming through, and good luck with everything.
No, thank you. Hopefully speak again. Take care.
Lovely. Take care, Ben. Bye.
See ya.
Bye. Thanks for listening to Ask the Answers podcast. Don't forget to follow, subscribe, and save to your library. Remember, there are 100 psychic readers available on our website for readings 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. To triple your credits on your first purchase, visit asktheanswer.com and click on the new customer offer banner.